Let's talk about Brian Walsh, husband of Anna Walsh. This is out of Massachusetts as well, with the same DA Morrissey that handled the Karen Reed case and investigated by none other than Proctor himself. Now, back in 2023, while he was married to his wife, he was already facing federal charges. He had an ankle monitor just to ensure that he didn't flee, as he had sold fake Andy Warhol paintings to his gallery, which sold. And once they realized the fraud, it was at a federal level of theft. So, this is where it gets a little crazy. During that time, still in 2023 with the ankle monitor, his wife was reported missing by her co-workers in Washington on January 4th. So Brian claimed that he saw his wife on January 1st and she was going to take an Uber to get to the airport, but they realized that she never took any sort of ride share and she never caught her flight. Investigators did track Anna's phone and it pinged near her house on the 2nd. So they knew he was lying, so he was already charged with misleading the investigation on January 8th. At that time, they found blood and a broken knife in the family basement and had surveillance video of him wearing medical masks and surgical gloves, purchasing $450 in cleaning supplies with cash, because that's not suspect, And he had the monitor on his foot and waiting sentencing for the fraud case, and he was under house arrest, guys. So he could leave for certain things like doctor's appointments, grocery shopping. Why did this not have a GPS? They would have seen every exact location that this guy went to and probably would have found wherever she is, rest her soul. She's still not turned up yet. Now they searched all the places around the house. At the time, they were fighting. She wanted a divorce. She had told colleagues that she was going to ask for a divorce, and she was leaving on the business trip. So somewhere along the lines, they were fighting, is what was being told. That's what he stated. And then she left, but didn't leave. So he ended up going to his mom's. He visited, he said, in the area. He said he went shopping for her, but the police found no receipts from the stores that he said that he went to, so it wasn't lining up with the story. They located trash bags containing blood evidence, found a hacksaw hatchet in the landfill, and they checked other places, but nothing turned up. They just knew that the amount of things that they gathered had sufficient amount of blood to state that they believed her to no longer be alive. They never recovered her body, and they have a whole bunch of things that they're still testing now. It's been over a year, but here we are still gathering evidence for this case. Now they have 3 children, and Morrissey is overseeing this case. So this is kind of crazy to find out there's the same DA in charge of another high-profile case as such of Karen Reed. Baffles me that you put an ankle monitor on this guy, but he's fully able to go get cleaning supplies, come back, clean his whole house with his kids there, and then go to different dumpsters and dump different things, and nobody notices or can figure it out. Does it have nothing on it? Like, what is the point of the monitor? Just to say he left the house or not? That's kind of crazy. But they are filing motions late in the summer, so it's going to be set for October 2nd. And the same judge overseeing the Walsh case is also handling Karen Reed. So again, we have the same DA Morrissey and Auntie Bev back on the case. So to break it down a little further, there was they did find blood and a knife with blood in the basement of the home, and all this 10 bags of evidence. So a lot of the things were matching. DNA matched Brian Walsh as well as his wife's. Her purse was there, her COVID-19 vaccine card with her name on it. So there was enough to state this guy definitely did something shady, but it was getting kind of hard to tell when you don't have a body. But they are trying to charge her for dismembering, so that's a little crazy too. To dive deeper into this guy, in November, his family members dropped a probate case against him, accusing him of stealing $500,000 from his father's estate. And the case was dismissed because they didn't even think, hey, you know what? We ain't seeing a dime of that money ever again. So just go ahead and drop that, which is wild. Now diving deeper in this whole situation, because it's still a Norfolk District Attorney's Proctor, as well as several other law enforcement officers, investigated this murder. So it's a little crazy because I want to know who the other officers are, but this guy, anybody's going to be a little leery when they see his name on a high-profile case, especially lately. We already saw how that went on in court. But then you see this. Because of the highness of the Karen Reed trial is well known, I think the defense attorney would be in a very strong position to hear internal affair reports before the trial that involve him begins. Their kind of potentially biased discovery is difficult to obtain. So, it's a little crazy here because this guy could potentially walk free based on Proctor just being the lead investigator on this case based on whatever happens from Karen's. So, what? Now, they say they can still try the case without calling Proctor, but it's a little hard when that's your main investigator, you know? But this is crazy. I also want to know why Brian Walsh had to hire a second attorney. Like, why did the first one leave? I'm still trying to dig into that myself. But it's getting wild in these streets in Massachusetts. I mean, this is just crazy. This guy could potentially have ruined 2 major profile cases. I sure hope Monday comes with a good solution here because I feel like Anna Walsh's and John O'Keefe's family needs some sort of answers. Also wanted to bring you back here so you could pause and read, because this part where they did find on his internet browser the searches that he conducted during the time she was missing, decomposing of a body, disposing of a body, dismembering a body. So it's very high, more than likely that this guy definitely is responsible. I want to know what you guys think or what you've been researching on this, because this will be a huge thing coming forward as well. On top of the, Karen Reed and the Sandra Birchmore is just wild in these streets of Mass.